Alex and Insilico were one of our very early aging research at King's partners. Expertise in longevity in AI and now in drug discovery in AI. And he'd like to say a few words. So Alex, over to you.
Hi, everybody. Thank you, Richard. Thank you, Deep. Can you hear me okay? And can you see my slides?
Yeah, we can see and we can hear.
Okay, that's perfect. Thank you. I'm dialing in from Singapore. It's a great privilege for me to be at King's, and Richard is a dear friend for many years, and we support each other whenever we can. It's a great tight community, and many of us know each other for many years. Deep Longevity was a spin-off out of Insilico Medicine, focused specifically on biomarkers of aging, and then it went into a separate own kind of sale. We independently fundraised from some of the top investors and then sold it to Regent Pacific, another one of the Jim Mellon's enterprises, which is publicly traded in Hong Kong, and it renamed into Endurance Longevity to be focused on longevity. So and then Deep joined as the CEO, so now you can actually see what Deep Longevity is all about. It works on many, many clocks. However, one important aspect that I've learned over the years is that diagnostics are great, but unless they're coupled with therapeutics, very often it's very difficult to make money, right? And also very difficult to keep people engaged. So we are very focused as Insilico on drug discovery and trying to cater to the people who discover biomarkers, and we're working on biomarker-derived therapeutics. So right now, I'm going to show you a couple slides, and then if you like, if we have time, I can actually show you a couple demos from some of our other partners that demonstrate how aging biomarkers work and how you can even get this aging biomarkers for therapeutic applications. So first of all, if you go to longevitypledge.org, you will see that I basically dedicate the rest of my life to aging research. Everything's there. So don't plan to leave any inheritance and don't recommend doing that to anyone. I think that longevity is the most important priority right now. We started in as Insilico and also as Deep Longevity out of the technology which is deep generative reinforcement learning. So that's what DeepMind is using to outperform Go champions in Go competitions and win StarCraft games, and also imagine beautiful art. So we started in this area about 2020 to 2014 and started applying it pretty much everywhere. So it can be used, of course, for aging research. And what Deep just presented, it can be used for biological age prediction and monitoring, mental health, depression, motivation, behavioral modification, biomarker development. But what Insilico is using it for is for biological target identification, molecular generation with the desired properties, and precision medicine. So my big question to all of you and to ourselves is, can we discover and develop dual purpose therapeutics targeting aging and disease at the same time? Dual purpose meaning that we need to target a disease in order to not even think about, changing the regulations, changing the framework of the pharmaceutical drug discovery and development, but actually develop a therapeutic for a specific disease, but which is also targeting the fundamental aging pathways. For that, we established Insilico Medicine. Currently, we span the entire globe. We are pretty centric in Asia, headquartered in Hong Kong, but we also have R&D centers in the UAE, in Abu Dhabi, in New York, in Montreal, in Canada. We're about 250 scientists globally, half AI, half drug hunters. We also rely on massive contract research organizations, more than 40 of them, that perform chemistry and biology experiments for us. And originally we were AI first, so I founded the company, and we are focusing on generative AI, specifically for chemistry and biology. And then once we started showing that our software, our AI platform, can churn out valuable targets and generate small molecules, we decided to use it ourselves because all the pharmaceutical industry, all the pharmaceutical companies want to see validation of your AI platforms, and they want to see that you can generate small molecules or biologics that actually work. Otherwise, they don't want to use your platform. And I met Dr. Ren, a PhD from Harvard, 11 years at GSK, then worked for a CRO. And he established multiple teams that are actually doing drug discovery and development, and also supervising an army of those contract research organizations. And once he demonstrated he can nominate 8 preclinical candidates in almost a year, he became a CEO as well, and we're a dual CEO structure. I'm in charge of AI and innovation, and Dr. Ren is responsible for pipeline development, and we have a seamless workflow in between. So many of you probably don't know how drugs are discovered, but that's something that you need to know when you're on longevity. So in that case, your kind of rosy glasses get off immediately, and you realize that this market is the market of failure. So here are the success rates at every stage. 1 to 5% success rate in target discovery, and only 10% success rate once you actually go into human clinical trials, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. You still fail about 60% of the time in phase 2, costs you about $1.8 billion to discover a drug, and about 12 years, and also millions of dollars. So at Insilico, we decided to automate many of those steps using AI. Not just one step. You probably are very familiar with the AlphaFold, so that's obtaining crystal structure, but a small piece. You need to also be able to identify the right disease target and purpose it to a specific patient population, and then design small molecules or biologics that enable you to disable or upregulate this target. So we decided to turn this into a software platform that allows you to go end-to-end. And we have a platform called PandaOmics, identifies novel targets, then generates small molecules. It's called Chemistry 42, and Insilico predicts the outcomes of clinical trials. We use it seamlessly. And in 2020, we decided to actually try to design the first aging clock-derived therapeutic. So we used, and we decided to go after novel target, novel molecule for a broad disease with no cure. That is very rare in pharma, so very rarely pharmaceutical companies discover their own targets. Usually it's done in academia, and very rarely biotech companies design their own chemical matter that goes into clinic. And also extremely rarely you go for a blockbuster drug like Viagra PDE5 inhibitor or PCSK9 inhibitor, or some other famous target that makes it into billion-dollar drugs. So we decided to go after aging, of course, but decided to purpose into fibrosis, idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis first. It's an age-associated disease, average age of onset 55 to 65, kills you very quickly. And actually, it's a pretty huge market, $3.5 billion, even though none of the current standards of care like nintedanib or pirfenidone cure it. And this is, I guess, the most important slide. We use the aging clock, a transcriptomic proteomic aging clock that is trained to predict age and fibrosis at the same time, derived a bunch of targets from there, gave it to our pathway scoring system and a target ID system, PandaOmics. It very rapidly identified some promising targets, established novelty. So you want the targets to be novel. Prioritized 20 targets, tested 5. All 5 worked all the way into mice. And one target was specifically interesting. We purposed it towards IPF, also kidney fibrosis and skin fibrosis, nominated preclinical candidate for lung fibrosis very quickly. Took us under 18 months and on a budget of about $3 million. Again, usually it costs you hundreds of millions. And it's including target discovery. And we demonstrated that it's the first that I know of, for example, drug that's AI discovered and AI designed. And then we've performed multiple experiments. Again, to nominate a preclinical candidate, you usually need to perform several efficacy experiments in animals. Then we did a small phase 0 study, and now we're in phase 1, completing phase 1, hope to start phase 2 next year. Pretty big news for us. And since 2021, we nominated 8 preclinical candidates in different disease areas. So that is a pretty cool feat. Now we're actually trying to purpose this drug towards other disease indications, and at some point in time, I want to test it in aging, but that would be as a byproduct of a standard phase 2 clinical trial where we would test the aging clock. So hope to collaborate with Deep. Also wanted to thank my collaborators who put together a range of longevity medicine courses that you can take for free. They are CME accredited. You can actually go to longevity.degree and read about it, and also see how you can use aging clocks in clinical practice. So thank you very much. Would love to collaborate. And if I do have still 1 minute, I want to show you one fun product that's developed by one of our partner companies, Hout AI. I'm supporting and advising this company. It's a wonderful founder, Anastasia Georgievskaya. So if you want to see how aging clocks work in action, I need to enable my camera. I wonder if I can do both of those things at the same time. And then maybe you will be able to also see, you might be able to see me in my real native habitat right now. Let's see if it's gonna work. Take a photo. Okay, it won't. Yeah, it won't work for some strange reason. No face found. Okay, I cannot enable the camera. Sorry about that. But you can actually go to skinanalysis.pro and see how aging clocks can work on your face. Because that's the best way to visualize, how aging biomarkers work.
Alex, thank you so much for joining us. For those of you who listen to the Moodoo talk, they're actually going to be incorporating the Hout AI portion into their app early next year. So thank you very much for introducing that, Alex, and for joining us from Singapore. So truly international presentation from Deep Longevity and Insilico. Alex, I met maybe 5 years ago at the very first Longevity Week event. So, and I think, Alex, you had coined the term Longevity Week. So thank you for that. And thank you for joining us again.
Thank you very much for giving this opportunity to
no
me.
problem.
And, you guys are the real heroes in the room, and please do carry on the torch of the many people who came before us.
Sure. And the longevity medicine is equally important. We do need to train and upskill our clinicians into the concepts of what is longevity, both in the clinic and also, as we were saying earlier today, for the consumer in the community. So thank you again, Alex, and thank you, Deep. Because of time, we're going to be